A lot of you guys have been asking me to do commentary for a while, so I think this is the perfect opportunity to go ahead and give you guys what you've been asking for. Yesterday, Bethesda posted on BethBlog that patch 1.4 for Skyrim is going to be submitted for certification this week, and hopefully that means we should see it by the end of next week or the first week of February at the latest. So far we've seen 3 patches for Skyrim. Patch 1.1 had a lot of optimizations for the consoles, several fixes for the PC, but there was really nothing substantial. Patch 1.2 was kind of a joke at best and completely broke resistances, resulted in backward flying dragons and all other sorts of nonsense. And then our last patch was 1.3, which basically fixed most of the problems that 1.2 caused. We haven't seen any major fixes for the quest bugs. The large majority of gameplay issues that have been plaguing us for the last 2 months have not been addressed. But patch 1.4 is the first patch that is really going to address a large number of these issues. I posted a link in the video description if you want to take a look for yourself. Now for your PC users, they have announced that the creation kit is almost done and should be ready by the end of this month. I know that's exciting news because the modding community tends to make better content than Bethesda does itself. So for those of you on the PC, I would look forward for that. Now as far as the quests go, it's pretty exciting. The list is really large. The first major fix is for the numerous amounts of conflicts between the main quest and the Civil War. Specifically when you're siding with the Stormcloaks, when you get to the main quest, the Fallen, before furthering the Civil War, you have to get Ulfric and Tullius to agree to a truce in order to appease the Jarl of Whiterun. This is part of the quest Season Unending, and it's also the source of a huge number of problems. Season Unending requires you to negotiate on the behalf of either Ulfric and Tullius, and as I'm showing here, if you've not sided with either the Imperials or the Stormcloaks, you can completely destroy your playthrough at this point. By having the quest joining the Stormcloaks in your journal and starting the truce negotiations, you arrive in a situation where Ulfric will not speak to you about the truce because you have to assist Galmar, and Galmar's too busy complaining about the fact that there's a truce going on instead of the bloodshed that he's craving to give you the time of day. Once this happens, you're unable to progress in the Civil War at all, you're unable to progress in the main story at all, so the 2 largest quest lines in the game, the main selling point of Skyrim, they're now completely disabled. Being in this situation can break the quest of the Jagged Crown, it can break the quest The Message to Whiterun. The only fix at this time is to roll back your save and lose a ton of time, and then work on the Civil War before you even get to the truce. So thankfully this will be fixed, and those of you sitting with a broken playthrough should be able to continue. Another quest they've decided to take a look at is Blood on the Ice. Now this is the most glitched quest in the game. I know a lot of you people have had problems with this. For some people it fails to start at all. For others that manage to get it started, it's inevitable that something's going to go wrong. There are a lot of essential NPCs to the quest, and they can end up being killed by dragons or other events, and they leave you with a quest arrow that's pointing to a corpse. Speak with Viola's corpse to continue. Yeah, that's going to work. The real killer is flagged as essential during many steps of the quest, meaning you can't just kill him and be the hero. And even worse, if you manage to complete the quest, there's a chance that the steward isn't even going to sell you the house. But we're not done. Even if you manage to buy the house, there's another glitch that prevents you from being able to clean it up. So you're stuck living in a house with blood smears all over the floor, body parts littering your trade skill stations. There's no promises that this is going to fix every issue, but based on the notes, the large majority of them are going to be taken care of, so that's good news. Next up, there's a common problem that occurs when trying to join the Thieves Guild. Brynjolf, however you want to say that, tells you to reverse pickpocket a ring and try and frame somebody. Now you may have failed the quest, you may have failed the pickpocket attempt, or you sold the ring prior to starting the quest because you decided to steal it out of the chest. At any point, leaving the town during this quest for any reason can create a situation where Brynjolf tells you to meet him at the Ragged Flagon, yet he stands in the market hall slinging his potions all day. You show up at the Ragged Flagon, he's nowhere to be found. Now, there have been some workarounds posted here on YouTube, such as attacking him, running to the door, using unrelenting force to push him through the door, getting him to chase you down in the Ragged Flagon. A lot of these do work, and they're good advice, and they manage to get your quest moving forward, but still, this is a common enough problem that there's several people out there that haven't even joined the Thieves Guild, so it sounds like that's not going to be a problem anymore. Now for those of you who did manage to join the Thieves Guild and went ahead and completed the quest Scoundrel's Folly, when you received your Thieves Guild armor, you took a look at the stats and you realized that most of the armor pieces are not even worth wearing. So you did this. Then you work through the entire quest line only to discover that you can't become the Thieves Guild Master because Tanelia is still waiting for you to upgrade your Thieves Guild armor. Now what's interesting is that there's actually a dialogue option for I don't have my Thieves Guild armor. Tanelia tells you to come back when you get another set, except there is no other set in the entire game. Someone actually took the time to program this into the game without realizing the fact that you have no other way of obtaining the Thieves Guild armor. It just adds insult to injury. She's also flagged essential, so there's no hope for justice in getting this paid back. Now, with patch 1.4, this will be fixed, so those of you sitting at 970 out of 1,000 needing the achievement or trophy, you can finally finish this quest. However, I still do hope you learned your lesson. In any RPG of this size, save frequently. Don't override the same save every time. Keep several saves, at least until you finish a quest line. Issues like this are completely unavoidable. I've played Elder Scroll games before, I've played Fallout games before, so there's a reason I do this. Now, you don't have to go this overboard with hundreds and hundreds of saves, but you should consider it. Also, I posted a couple links in the video description for the 2 major Elder Scrolls wikis. There are people out there that make walkthroughs for quests, and really? Who does that? But it's worth a few minutes of your time to look it up so you can save yourself from having to lose hours and hours of work because you have to roll back your save. Another important fix is for those of you who have a non-English version of the game. You were unable to unlock the Master or Criminal achievement or trophy. This is now fixed and you should be able to unlock it with patch 1.4. You'll also find that you're able to re-enter the Thalmor Embassy after completing the quest Diplomatic Immunity. There have been a lot of crazy methods posted on ways to get back in. I've seen videos of people climbing trees on their horse. I've seen people strafe jumping to the top of a mountain only to use the whirlwind sprint and land in the backyard of the embassy. Here I am showing how to use the wooden bowl teleport glitch to go through the wall to get back in. My guess is now that they're going to be using a regular lock on the front door instead of requiring a key to get in. No matter what, you will be able to get back in with patch 1.4 and should be able to recover the stone should you need it. There are several other minor quest bugs that aren't as widespread of a problem, but they still weigh down on those of you who have experienced them. For example, the amulet fragments in Forbidden Legend, they no longer despawn if you forget to loot them and leave and then try and come back later. Here I'm showing during a night to remember. Once you leave and come back to re-enter Misty Grove, you go inside, the party's still rocking, but the host is nowhere to be found. If you take a look at your quest arrows, they all point to the place where you zoned in, but there's no way to get out other than reloading your save. So supposedly there's going to be a way to get out now. During finding Panthea's flute, if you looted the flute before speaking with Panthea, and then you go to her and try and complete the quest, you're not able to turn it in. This is a common problem with a lot of quests. They mentioned this flute, they mentioned the Briarheart during the White Flail, but there's a lot of other quests this applies to. Now, while these two are probably the most common, this applies to many other quests in the game. I don't think that they're going to be doing a universal fix here for all pre-looted quest items. Most likely they're going to have to do this one quest at a time. Now, 2 quests is a slow start, but at least they're aware of the problem, so hopefully they're going to be retroactively applying this to all of the widespread quests that this affects. Now, there are several performance-related issues posted. For example, fixed rare crash when loading saved games. I'm not sure if this covers the crashes that happen whenever you enter a new area or fast travel somewhere. It seems like that loading screen is pretty doomed. I hold my breath every single time. I get this crash at least once a day, and I never know what time it's going to happen, so I'm always afraid. Hopefully this covers that. But they said the same thing about Fallout New Vegas, and I still get my Xbox locking up anytime I play. I have to manually shut it down, so my fingers are not crossed. Fix an issue with ash piles not cleaning up properly. Now, you might have noticed that ash piles are permanent, if only dead Thrall corpses acted that way. Supposedly, the permanent ash piles laying all over the world bloats the size of your save file, and ends up creating all kinds of other problems with scripts running and loading times. I'm not sure if I buy into that exactly, but I know a lot of PC users are complaining about it, so I hope that works out for you guys. Finally, as a quick note on the quest bugs worth talking about, the issue with becoming the Thane of Riften after you've already purchased the home in Riften Honeyside, it looks like that's been taken care of. Apparently, if you purchase the house before you do the skooma investigation for Maven, you get a dialogue option to become Thane, but the actual quest never starts. And I know this denies you all the benefits of becoming Thane, You know, I'm doing something sarcastic with my hand right now. You know, you're unable to actually become the Thane. So this is supposedly going to be taken care of. Now that we're on the subject of houses, this one is pretty big. Fixed issue where weapon racks and plaques would not work correctly in player's house if player immediately visits their house before purchasing any furnishings. Now, it took me about 3 houses before I figured out exactly what was happening. If you purchase the house and then go to visit it before you purchase all the upgrades, any weapon racks, wall plaques, display cases, anything that you purchase after you've already visited the quest, they don't work at all. You can't interact with them. You know, I'm showing some examples here where you can't put your weapons on the weapon rack. Here's a quest where I'm freeze framing. This stupid little objective is the cause of the majority of the glitches. If you purchase any upgrades that I've listed after completing this misc objective, you will not be able to use those listed. It's a major glitch. It's annoying. It happens in every single house in the game. So we can only hope that this fix is going to be retroactive and help all of us that are already glitched in our houses and not require us to purchase the house again. The next 2 are what really have me worried. They're pretty ambiguous as to what they're saying with their wording here. Fixed issues with placing and removing books from bookshelves in the player's home, and fixed infinite loop with bookshelves. Now, placing and removing books from bookshelves, this sounds like a fix for the bug they created in patch 1.2 when they were trying to nerf the Ogma. You could only use the bookshelf one time, and then anytime you tried to go back, you couldn't interact with your bookshelf at all. Any books you placed on the shelf were stuck there, etc. The second one, though, is what has me worried. You know, the first one sounds like it's a fix for what they broke in patch 1.2, but the second line where they say infinite loop, I mean, do they mean the Ogma Infinium leveling glitch? They've tried to nerf this every single patch unsuccessfully, but this might finally be the nail in the coffin. There's also a book dupe glitch, which I'm showing here, that allows you to make multiple copies of the same book. So they could be fixing one, they could be fixing the other, they could be fixing both. Either way, if you're on the fence about making an Ogma glitch character, now is the time to do it. My advice is to make a new character, level it up to 15, run straight to Septimus, begin the quest, but don't do it before 15 or you have to wait for that stupid courier to bring you a letter. That can take forever. Do the quest, harvest the blood, do the glitch, level as high as you want to go, and then save your game without spending any of your perks or any of your skill points. This way you're able to come back with 50 perks ready to go and 80 levels worth of skill points to invest into health, magicka, or stamina. You can use the same save file over and over every time you want to start the game from scratch, and you can try something new. You want to be a stealth, you want to be a conjure mage, you want to be a necro mage, whatever you want to do, you're able to begin from the start. Pro tip, make it a Breton. Now there's another dupe that might be on its way out, the mannequin dupe. Fixed occasional issue with armor and clothing not displaying properly when placed on a mannequin in player's house. Now this says it's only for the PS3, but I can't help but wonder, if they're looking at mannequins, they might be looking to fix this dupe. I know some of you guys like to dupe your Daedric Artifacts, some of you like to give the items to your follower, but you also want to use them yourself. Whatever it is that you're wanting to dupe, now is the time to go ahead and dupe them all, because there's a chance that the mannequin dupe will be fixed with patch 1.4. Fixed issue where Dragon Priest mask would not render correctly. Now here I'm showing how to stack a Dragon Priest mask with a Falmer helmet. This turns your head invisible. Now this is a case where the Dragon Priest mask is not rendering correctly, but this also happens with Savros' robes. There's a few other items that do this. Is this all they're fixing? Now I have a feeling that the triple helmet stacking glitch that I posted a few days ago, that's going to be nerfed. I'm also worried that there is a small chance that the Falmer helmet or Penitus Oculatus helmet might get nerfed too. You might want to go ahead and stock up on your smithing and enchanting potions now, because there's a chance that you will not be able to use 6 pieces of armor after patch 1.4. Another option is just don't install the patch the day it releases. You know, when that little box pops up saying we have a patch for you, just say no. Check the forums, check YouTube, find out what's been nerfed and what hasn't been nerfed before you decide to install the patch. The day of 1.4 release, I'm going to be researching everything that's been fixed, what's been nerfed, what works, what doesn't work. I know rendering the videos can take some time, so keep an eye on my channel. I'm going to be posting bulletins as I find them out, rather than making you wait for the videos. So if this interests you, be sure to subscribe to me, and in the meantime, I'm going to be posting guides on other quests. I still have some Thane stuff left to do. I still have a few things I want to cover on Necromage. But that about does it for my commentary, guys. I do look forward to all your abuse in the comments. Thank you for watching, and remember to leave a like if you enjoyed this nonsense.